In the U.S. Senate, there's a new leader that's pro-life, pro-woman, and ready to fight. Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith of Mississippi will serve as the 118th Congress chair of the Senate Pro-Life Caucus. She joins us tonight with more on her vision and plans. Senator, welcome. It is a pleasure to speak with you, and thank you for joining us here. And what do you have in mind for the caucus, and what do you hope to accomplish for the unborn?
Well, we've got a job in front of us, especially after the vote last night. And as chairman, I will lead the fight for life in the Senate and for combat the misinformation, the lies that are being told by the abortion industry, and which is absolutely rampant. But that's going to be my job as chairman. I've got a lot of support in the House and in the Senate on the pro-life issue. There's several of us there that are willing to fight, but we're just going to block the Senate Democrats on trying to promote the agenda of the Biden administration, which is clearly abortion to the moment of birth.
Exactly. As you know, the Born Alive Protection Act passed the House last night. It does ensure that an infant born alive after a botched abortion receives the same legal and medical care as any newborn. But all but one House Democrat voted against the bill, and it will likely get little traction in the Democrat-controlled Senate. But what is your take on this particular bill?
Well, to think there's actually 210 Democrats, adults that were duly elected to the House of Representatives that would vote against giving a child the necessary care after surviving an abortion. That is pretty unbelievable that they would do that. And we've got a letter now that we've drafted to the FDA. Last week, the FDA removed the requirements that any abortion pill would have to be under doctor supervision and in person. And that was removed by the FDA, which violates a longstanding federal law that says you cannot do that. You cannot ship abortion pills through the mail. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us.
Most definitely. And this administration, this Biden administration, it does remain bent on pushing abortion access. And just last week, as you mentioned, the FDA announced that retail pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens can distribute abortion drugs to women who have a prescription from their doctor. Now, how can you combat this bold move by these Democrats?
Well, we've got to get the information out. The do-it-yourself abortion is, first of all, it is not safe. You've got a lot of young women out there that are trying to get their hands on these drugs. Do it through the consult of a doctor under the supervision there. The thought that you can just go online and order and it be delivered in the mail. I have the great privilege and honor to serve with the senator from Kansas, Dr. Roger Marshall. He has delivered thousands of babies. It is so nice to have him by my side fighting this. And he will clearly tell you that these chemical abortion pills, the damage that it can do to a person, they think that they're just going to take this pill and their problems are going to go away. The medical issues that can follow that, especially if it's a tubal pregnancy, that young woman can bleed to death right there.
Amen
and to
that,
think
yes.
that every doctor knows that, and the FDA is removing that requirement. They're not considering the health of the woman.
Most definitely. Well, Senator, before I let you go, I do want to pivot a moment and talk about the southern border. It's still chaos out there. You just returned from your own trip down in the Del Rio, Texas area. What was your take? What were your impressions out there? What did you see?
Well, the most heartbreaking thing is the children that are out there, and the drug smugglers, the sex trafficking, the human trafficking. Talking to these immigrants is just amazing that the laws on the books right now in the United States are not being enforced there at all. And the things that are coming across that border, the trafficking, the fentanyl that is killing our young people. I think the immigration laws is probably the best place to start to reform the immigration laws is my goal.
Well, Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith, thank you so much for joining us again. May God continue to shower you in protection and prayers, and thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much for this opportunity.